Well, of course, some corps judge their whole show towards pleasing the judges, to gear it that way. Other corps are a lot more interested in winning the audience vote, to please the audience. And Keith Klein has this look at one of drum corps' perennial crowd pleasers.
DCI's crowd-pleasing and fun corps, the Velvet Knights, are renowned for their entertaining performances. Ironically, VK director Jack Bevan says he leaves the creative aspects of their program to his staff, so he's usually the last person to know much of what's planned for the show.
My job is to get them down the road and back, get them out there and home. Their job is to take care of the show, do the show the best they can do their ability. I may disagree, which I do a lot, but it ends up the best.
VK's perfectly content the way they are. In fact, they think drum corps takes itself too seriously.
As it is right now, you have a lot of really serious stuff that goes on in the top 12, and it's become, I don't even know if I should say this, it's become slightly self-serving in its respect to that it doesn't really please the audience as much as it could as an activity. VK is a fresh breath of air in that whole genre that goes on there.
It's their audience-pleasing show that causes a feeling in most knowledgeable drum corps fans that VK can't win the big one. That does not mean they're any less serious in their quest. But the VK staff thinks that winning is an attitude, not a score on a judge's sheet.
99% of the drum corps year is spent out of uniform. So the real winning comes when you're out of uniform. To say that we ignore the competitive process or the competitive fun and games would be ludicrous. We have our focus as much on competition as we do everything else. We just put a lot of emphasis on the creative process. We want a great show, man. And the bottom line is, if that turns out great competitively, then far out. I mean, we're as much responsible for the judges' score as they are. You make the bed that you lay in, and we're pretty happy in the sack that we're in.
Well, tonight will be the last show of this year's drum corps season, but it will only take until tomorrow or so before the drum corps fanatics start counting the days until next season. The real drum corps fans know where to get that early fix. Keith Klein lets us in on their special secret.
For the avid fan, it's a long time from the announcement of the winner of this year's Summer Music Games until the next drum corps season begins. It's an off-season of only being able to listen to CDs or watch tapes. That's why every April for the last 15 years, real drum corps fans flock to the Forum in the shadow of the state capitol in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, to get their first new season fix of drum corps. Serenade in Brass, a benefit for Carlisle High School, produced by Five Star Productions, has been a sellout for the past 10 years. The Forum seats 2,000, but it's standing room only at showtime, and the fans really appreciate what happens here. Show director Larry Hirschman says that's because this show is special.
Oh, I think this is the only place that you can go, drum corps-wise, anywhere in the country to see every type of drum corps that exists. There are junior corps here, DCI caliber corps, senior corps, DCA corps. We have alumni drum and bugle corps, fellas that don't do it on a regular basis anymore, but get together on weekends and have a real good time with it. And we have the service academies. We have 2 of them here this year. And it's the only place anywhere that you can go and see all of the types of drum corps that exist at one time.
Some of these corps in here tonight are going to impress you very, very much. The winter doldrums is leaving you, and you're now reaching the point where drum corps is coming into its own for the summer. And it's, as I say, people will travel all over to get there.
While it may not be championship form this early in the season, no one could deny it's loud, it's good, and for the fans who have been waiting all winter for their first dose of drum corps, Serenade in Brass is just what the doctor ordered.
And coming up next, the corps to beat, the Cadets. In the early 80s, George Hopkins was the Cadets' new director, and he set out to prove himself. He became a tough guy, and he built the Cadets into the corps of the 1980s. Now he's a veteran with a reputation as a fierce competitor. And this is what this is all about. This is competition, world competition. But is he still tough in the same way? Keith Klein has the story.
Cadets of Bergen County Director George Hopkins wanted to win at any cost.
Winning was the most important thing to me until we won. And then I saw very clearly that winning did not mean anything. Then you get home and you still don't have any money. You still have the same problems. You still have to recruit and you start over again. If winning was why we do it, then why would we do it again? Just to win again? It doesn't feel any better the second time.
4 world championships in the 80s forced Hopkins to concentrate on other aspects of his core. He's fought bankruptcy even in championship years. The Bergen County name change was a financial move that helped teach Hopkins about the Cadets' tradition.
Like when we won our first national championship, I received so many calls or people coming up to me saying, "We did it, we did it." And I remember sitting there going, "Who are you?" It took me a while to understand where they came from. When I came here, I was not interested in the tradition, and I've changed a great deal in that.
Drawing on the tradition, the Cadets have carved out a future as innovators, specializing in frenetic movement and classical music. But as leaders, they're sometimes forced into a teaching role for their audience and for their judges.
You go to the opera, they give you a libretto where you can sit down and read for a little bit before it starts about what's about to happen. You go to a drum corps show, get your hot dog, sit in the stands, and away we go. Last year with the Les Mis program, towards the end of the show, we overlaid 2 numbers onto the top of each other. Well, if we had not told people what we were doing there, it would have been hopeless. And once she explained it, well, this lays against this, and we're trying to portray this. Oh, now they get to go up and look at it a whole nother way.
And is George Hopkins still that win-at-any-cost director?
But what I want them just to know about me, when it's all said and done and when I'm long gone, is that I was someone that was most concerned with the young people that march in the chorus. I've got my whole life out of drum corps, everything. And my wife worked for DCI. Most, if not all, of my friends, everything that I do is is because of this. So it's not one thing or what one person has said. Certainly it makes a difference with me to know that you're appreciated. I look at them as my kids, and what it's given me is absolutely everything.
Well, the 15 minutes of fame a corps enjoys every night is really a small part of their whole day. For these youngsters, it's a summer of sleeping on floors, eating food served out of a truck, becoming part of an adopted drum corps family. And as this summer wound down, we went behind the scenes with a typical corps to find out what a drum corps day is really like.
I think part of this drum corps has a lot more meaning to it than just going out and doing drum corps, right? We have a family, a lot of people that I'm here for, working hard for, a lot of people that are here working hard for me, and they have that special bonding type, and that's what it's all about, I guess. You can't describe it. A lot of heart and soul going to this corps. So.
They eat just about everything. We open these windows up and they come.
The food is really good. They got a new food truck this year. They got a brand new food truck and they feed us really well. Anywhere from beef stroganoff to chicken, anything, you name it, they gave it to us.
The first time I came here, I was like, well, these are just people too. I mean, in Holland, they got this total side of people in DCI that they're like some sort of robots or something, that they're special. But I mean, I got a lot of friends here and it's awesome.
One of our instructors just told us the other day, it's while you're on tour, you want to go home, but when you get home geez, I had a good time. You think of all the good memories, so that's what it's all about. Past week or so, starting to think down towards the end of the season here, and it's starting to mean a lot more to me now for some reason. You know, it's when it's, you know, it's always, you never know what you have until it's gone, right?
Yeah, it gets hot. Everybody gets tired. People get on each other's nerves, but 90% of the time, we're great. We love each other. Everybody here puts 100% into what they do, and without that, it's not a good show. Unless we all have a good show, it's not a good show.
I'll take with me being a freelancer. That's all there is. That's all there has to be.
Yeah, there's quarrels. there's quarrels, but in the end, it has to become one, because if you don't have a family, you don't have anything.
Now on the starting line from Sacramento, California, the Freelancers.